culture there is really just more focused on getting a paper and fucking off.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Rai.
Hi, I'm Eva.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is
Zula Chit Chats.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Zula Chit Chats. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about private uni culture. And I have 3 guests here today. So, would you guys like to first share what schools you were from?
I was from University at Buffalo under SIM Global.
I was from University of Murdoch under Kaplan.
I'm from Coventry University under PSB campus.
Okay, so can I ask what made you decide to go to these universities in the first place?
Cause local uni don't want me. That is the short answer.
Done for local uni, no lah, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I think the first year of poly really affected like my overall GPA. Although I did well in my last year in my internship and my FYP, but the first year really pulled me all the way down. So yeah, too busy with boyfriend.
You were so busy with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ex-boyfriend.
Oh!
Okay.
It caused you not to go to local uni lah.
No lah. I also slack lah.
Basically, like for me, private uni offered like a shorter time period, which is what I wanted lah. I didn't want to like slug through another like 3-4 years. Yeah, I wanted to like faster finish and then go out and work. My only concern was getting that cert at the end of the day, you know? Yeah, it was more like paper chase lah.
At first, I was dead set to go to SUTD, but at the end of the day, I felt like private U, the modules that are covered, is more catered to my needs or what I want to pursue in the future. So that's why I choose private.
So on to the next question, branching off of this, right, is talking about the culture of the schools itself. So I would say, why you laugh?
What culture?
Don't
Just
have.
go there and go home.
Really? For all of you?
Yeah,
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
not much culture,
No
but it's
more
mostly like
question
my
already.
friends are mostly my classmates. Other than that, I don't really mingle around with those from other
Yeah.
courses. Not like how I was in poly.
Like poly, everybody wanted to like bond and like
Yeah.
be close and like find cliques and find like lifelong friends, right? But then private uni, everyone was just more solo, doing their own thing. A lot of them also have had jobs at that point of time. And I feel like the culture there is really just more focused on getting a paper and like fucking off.
It's quite true.
Yeah.
I think one big thing that kind of builds up the culture of the local unis, from my point of view, is like the camps and like the extra activities like CCAs or the clubs. But for you guys, do you all have like clubs or activities in school that people can take part in?
Yeah, they have, but I didn't bother. So
Oh, but is it very, do people bother to even try, or is it, do you feel like they don't even bother?
I think it's very 50-50 because
Okay.
it's very like your own initiative.
Yeah.
No like I need to join this club.
Like don't have that like,
Yeah.
like hey, we need to do this together kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah, yeah.
Same goes for my campus as well. It's never something I'm attracted to, or they don't create a hype. They don't have CCA fairs like how we have in poly.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. My main focus there was mostly to study and go home, and yeah, that's about it.
Everybody was just earning money, like part-time job. Yeah, which I felt was more beneficial for me lah, because
Okay.
I think they would rather look for relevant working experience rather than
Yeah.
I am student council.
Actually, when I filled out my forms to apply for Kaplan, right, under University of Murdoch, the one main thing I wanted to look forward to was an exchange program because it was something they offered. I was very interested in that. After 1 year, I think when we had the option to like do the exchange program, right, I found out there were like only 2 people that signed up for it. So that's the contrast of like how many people actually would be involved in school activities like exchange programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told my parents that there's this option, and then I think they sort of like felt that okay, maybe you should try lah. If we can support you to do it because it's expensive.
It's quite, yeah.
We studied like the last semester in Buffalo itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like
I feel like it's just a completely different mindset from y'all versus like the people I meet in like the uni that I went to. Okay, I think we talked a lot about culture and also like campus life, right? But maybe we can talk a bit about academics and like the whole curriculum in school.
Mine was it was a full-time course, but you can plan your schedule. So I planned it like so that I could have 3 days. So I would cram like my classes together lah. And then the 3 days I could go and do my part-time job. Yeah. Then I think like what I dreaded were projects, because in private unis, right, everyone have different commitments like boyfriend lah, girlfriend, or like work.
Is that a real commitment? Like,
I think people do it. So I had this classmate, she was very busy with like her own commitments or whatever. So she asked me, hey, how do you do this assignment? Can I take reference from you, but just as a guideline, not to copy? So I said, okay, fine, but please don't copy. So she adapted it, and I thought there would be no issue.
Yeah.
So she submitted it, and then next thing I knew, I had a call from the lecturer.
Oh.
And then they thought that we conspired together to like copy
Oh
from each
God.
other or whatever,
Oh
right?
God.
So I was then pissed off because I was doing her a favor. I was thinking like if I had to retake this module just cause of what she
Oh
did,
my
right?
God.
I'll be damn pissed off because it's like another 3 months or whatever.
Holy fuck.
So thank God, right? I still managed to pass that module.
The
Yeah.
question is, are you still friends with her?
We are on each other's Instagram lah. So
Oops, girl.
For me, it was very manageable. And we have our constant guidance from our lecturer all the time. But grading wise is also quite an issue for us because like what our lecturer give us, right, doesn't necessarily mean it will be reflected in your final grade. So there's this group of lecturers that will also look through your work and give you that median grade lah.
technically we're not just being graded against like the rest of students in Singapore studying in that particular campus, but we're also being graded against like the overseas students in the overseas main campus.
Because I had prior experience in poly, so everything that they say, right, poly got teach before, or like you have basic knowledge.
After you graduate from uni, right, what do you feel like the career prospects are like for someone with like a private uni cert holder? I feel like this is something that a lot of people will want to know about because that's what makes them want to apply for these unis in the first place.
Personally, for me, when I applied for my job, right, it was very portfolio based.
Okay.
They never even like instigate how popular is your course or what. All these kind of things were not a problem to my employer lah.
Personally for me, I was quite lucky because of how I was doing my part-time job. So after I graduated, I just converted to full-time at my first job lah. But I did have some classmates that faced certain difficulty finding an appropriate job after that because they might have a stigma of private unis.
In terms of paper, right, people are going to look at local uni kids more favorably. So I had to make it up in some other way
I see.
of sorts lah. So I took up like 3 internships. I went from place to place, asking people to take me in, that kind of thing lah. So because of my internships, then right out of my 3rd year of uni, my last year of uni, I found a job like almost immediately. Yeah, so I think that it's important to have a degree to a certain extent, but it's even more important to have relevant experience. Because I interview quite a lot of interns
Yeah.
from day to day, right? So I would say that I've seen so many resumes, and those resumes that really pop up to me are people who have experience.
So aside from maybe having different opportunities for jobs based on a degree, is there anything else that you feel like you all may find it's a bit hard to compete with like local uni students, or you are at a disadvantage in when you're looking for a career lah?
Probably the pay.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's very true that local uni students get paid a bit more than private uni students. But it depends on the company that you are working for also. Because some companies, they don't really care. They feel like, okay, you're a degree holder means you're a degree holder. At that time, I had another colleague who was from local uni. I found out by accident that she had the same starting salary as me.
Maybe like more like startup companies in Singapore, they don't have that traditional mindset of local uni deserves more pay than private uni.
For me, right, I think that the whole private uni and local uni thing is a bit like blown up out of proportion sometimes. Because when you are working with somebody, right, you don't really think about, oh, are you private uni? What uni you from? You know, that kind of thing. Eventually, it's all about your work ethic and your own capability.
So the last part is just maybe advice for people who are not sure whether what schools they should go to or what they should look out for when applying for a private uni. Yeah.
I think that before applying, right, you should really look into the course and what the course has to offer for you. It must suit like what you want to do and whether it will lead you to your dream career path. And don't listen to what people have to say about private uni.
When be it private or local uni is really like considerably your last shot in your academic journey. So I think it's very important to do something you really are happy doing lah. Yeah, and happy studying, because if you're not gonna enjoy yourself, then you're just wasting like money, time, effort, everything. Yeah.
If you think that studying is not really 100% your thing, but you still feel the need to paper chase because of today's society, a degree is still very important. I would say plan your route so that you make sure you have an all-rounded university experience. So you do internships, you do part-time jobs, basically just don't stick yourself in school
Yeah.
like 24/7, that kind of thing.
With that said, we have come to the end of this video. So today we talk about private uni culture and also share your experiences about it, and hopefully you all get some tips on things to look out for when applying for university if you still are. And let us know what else you want us to talk about on future episodes of Chick Chats in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.